Hello and welcome to Freeloaders No More. Today we are going to be focusing on the glutes, which have the potential to be the strongest muscle group in the body, but they like to be lazy. So today we are going to fire them up, work them hard, and then stretch them well at the end. We're going to start seated on our glutes. So go ahead and get comfortable on your mat, sitting nice and tall. Let's take a couple of slow, deep breaths together. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more time. Big inhale. And full exhale. Keep your spine long. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Then slowly roll it around to the other side. When you get to the left ear, slowly bring it back to where you started. So we're starting off here with slow half circles, working through the neck. Not everything we do today will focus on the glutes, thank goodness. I think you will actually appreciate having a break every once in a while. We still want to get all of our muscles nice and strong and flexible today. Just a little special attention to our glutes. Bring your head back to center. Now bring your gaze down to the right and up and across to the left. Same direction, follow that diagonal line down to your right and up to your left. And we'll do that a couple more times. Shoulders stay down and relaxed. It was such a beautiful day today. I thought we should take advantage of that and film outside. Let's go the other direction. Now look down to your left, up across to your right. Our neck is designed to be pretty flexible and mobile, so we want to keep it that way, working all different directions. Bring your head back to center, arms by your sides. As you inhale, shrug your shoulders up toward your ears. As you exhale, lower them back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Notice how you create a lot of tension when your shoulders are up here, but hopefully it feels a whole lot better when your shoulders are down. So we don't want to breathe this way all the time. We don't want to shrug our shoulders every time we inhale. I'm just showing you how much better it feels when they're down and relaxed. We'll do that one more time. Now flow your arms to the right side in front of you, to the left side behind you. So once again, we are following a diagonal line, but this time with the whole upper body, stretching through the low back, reaching through the fingertips. Maybe not your maximum range of motion yet. We are just warming up. So these are small, gentle movements designed to get the blood flowing as we ease into our glute-focused routine today. Come center, other direction, reach forward to your left now, back to your right. And again, just feeling that gentle stretch in your back as you lean forward, in the side body as you lean back. One more big reach each direction. Come to center, hands to heart. Reach your right hand down, left arm up toward the sky. Bring them back together at your chest. Other way. Big reach. So this is the X stretch. Notice your arms are kind of creating an X shape as we stretch through the side body very gently. And we'll finish up with our last one. You can either remain seated for cat and cow or come to all fours. And we'll continue to warm up and stretch through our back. On your inhale, belly drops toward the floor, head and tailbone tip up. On your exhale, round through your spine, gazes toward your belly button. Nice big breaths. Nice big stretches in both directions. We want to keep our back nice and healthy, and one way we can do that is by challenging our glutes more. Our back will take over in certain movements where our glutes like to be lazy and they wear out. So we want to make sure we're using our glutes whenever we can to protect our back, to protect our hamstrings, our quadriceps. All that stuff is connected. Come to a neutral position, and we'll begin with our first glute-centered exercise. I'm going to turn this way so you can see, because we're going to start with our right leg back. So extend your right leg behind you. Your heel is flexed. Bring your opposite arm forwards. That would be your left arm. And focus on stretching back through your right heel and forward with your left fingertips, bracing through your abdominals. And you want to keep that focus all the way through this next movement. So picture belly button coming up towards spine. Leg stays lifted, but set your hand back down. Tap your toe down to your mat. Lift it back up. Tap it down. Lift it up. And what muscle are we focused on? The glutes. I know you said it. And this is one movement where the glutes do like to be lazy and the back has to take over. So focus your energy into your right glute right here. Now we can add a little bit more muscle here, invite the hamstrings to the party. When you lift, curl your heel, back out, set down. Lift, heel to glute, re-extend, tap down. So now we're using glutes and hamstrings, and they do like to work together a lot. One more time. Hopefully you're feeling a little energy in the back of your right leg. Set it down, and then we'll switch sides. So start by lifting your left leg behind you. Remember, your ankle is flexed. Opposite arm stretches forward, bracing through your core, finding your balance. Leg stays lifted. Set your hand down, tap your toe down, lift back up, down, up. Still bracing through your core. Abdominals like to be lazy, like the glutes do sometimes. So we have to be very intentional with turning them on. Let's add the hamstring curl. Tap down, lift up, curl in, out, down, up, in, out. Very focused into the back part of your leg here. 2 more times. Last one, down, up, in, out. All right, both knees down. Tuck your toes to the mat, lift your hips, down dog. And as we almost always do, we pause here for a moment to stretch out through our lower legs, either 1 foot at a time in a pedaling movement, or you can keep your heels steady. Strong through your upper body, pressing through the pads of your fingers. That helps take a little bit of pressure off your wrists. And if down dog is not your favorite position, you're welcome to hang out in tabletop a little bit longer, or any other position you like. Walk your feet forward to the top of your mat, knees softly bent, round slowly up to standing. Last thing up will be your head. Once you're standing all the way up, take a big breath in and big breath out. All right, shift the weight to your left leg. Slightly bend that knee and tap your right toe forward. Circle your right foot around and bring it back to center. Tap it forward, circle around and back in. So drawing a little half circle here with the right foot. And as we do, notice you have to keep a pretty good bend in your standing leg. So we're already working this glute, quadriceps, hamstrings a little bit. And if you want a little bit more, especially for your balance, instead of keeping your toe connected to your mat as you circle, you can lift and hover right above the ground. So see how you feel today, whether you want to keep your toe down or lift it up as you circle. Arms anywhere that help you to balance. One more time around. Set your foot down. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. If you can, palms face the sky. If not, palms can be down if that is more comfortable. Weight stays evenly distributed over both feet. As you stretch to your right side, hold here for a second. Come back to center. Weight still evenly distributed as you stretch the other way. Come back to center. Relax your arms down. Side 2. Weight is now on your right foot. Slightly bend the knee. Tap the left foot forward. Circle around and back in. Little circle around and back in. And on these one-legged moves, muscular imbalances become very apparent, right? You may find one side is a little easier than the other. Maybe one knee is a little crankier than the other. Always do what feels best on each side. Maybe you want to hover. And it doesn't have to be really high off the ground. Just a couple of inches is going to test your balance. Couple more circles. Starting to feel a little heat in the lower body. Both feet down. Inhale up. Again, option to have palms towards the sky. This time stretch to your left first and hold, opening up the side body on your right. Come to center and stretch the other way. Come to center and relax your arms down. Coming into chair pose in maybe a slightly different way. Start by softening your knees. Then hinge forward from your hips. If it feels okay, bend your knees a little bit more. Maybe bring your arms forward. And here we are in chair pose. Sometimes it's just a little more comfortable to initiate the hinge before the deeper bend in your knees. So if you liked getting into it that way, keep that one in mind. Weight is in your heels here. You can wiggle your toes because with weight in the heels, you're going to activate the glutes more. Press through your heels to stand tall, forward fold. Lift halfway, creating a long flat back. Then bring your hands all the way down to the floor and step back to down dog. From here, lift your right leg up toward the sky. The foot that's in the air right now is going to come all the way forward to the top of your mat and set in between your hands. And I always say that transition doesn't have to look pretty. You can use your hands, you can scooch it into place, whatever you need to do. So here we are in low lunge, getting ready to come to high lunge. I find it helpful to drop the back foot a little bit as I rise up. It keeps me more balanced. When I get there, I reset my heel into traditional lunge position. All right. Now, right now, our legs are like on railroad tracks, right? They're not in a single line. So we're going to come from railroad tracks a little wider towards the edge of your mat, then back onto that railroad track. Wide, back in on that railroad track. Let's add a lunge. Wide, lunge, down, up. Come back to the railroad track, lunge, rise up. Wide, railroad track. Possible change coming. Step wide and lunge. And either come to that railroad track or to the balance beam. So now your legs are in one line. So we'll just continue to alternate from the wider lunge and either the railroad track lunge or the balance beam lunge. And boy, our legs, not just the glutes, the whole lower body, working hard. Balance and strength. This will be our last one. Wherever you are, shift your weight to your front leg. Back leg lifts and lowers. We're tapping down softly. Standing knee has a nice bend in it. Both glutes are working, so I'm hoping you're really feeling them fire up. Good, couple more seconds. It's starting to burn. And step forward. Well done. Big breath in. Exhale, bring your hands to your thighs. Hold them there as you round your back. Flatten your back. Round it, just like cat-cow. Flatten. We'll do that a couple more times. This is our sweet recovery in between challenges. So enjoy. Next time your back rounds, come all the way up to standing. And we'll start side two. Starting with chair pose. Start with knees softly bent. Hinge forward. Maybe bend a little more if that feels okay on knees, hips, and back today. And then bring your arms forward as a counterbalance. Weights in the heels, right? We're wiggling the toes so we know for sure. We're feeling our legs, front and back, our glutes. Press up, forward fold. Lift halfway. Hands all the way down to the mat. Step back to down dog. This time it's our left leg up toward the ceiling. Foot in the air comes forward to the top of the mat. Any way you can get it there. Once you're in low lunge position, get ready to rise. Maybe set that back heel. Use the front thigh if you need to. Come up to high lunge. Reposition the back heel so it's straight up and down. All right, we're back on the railroad tracks, right? Let's step a little wider. Edge of your mat. Lunge down, up. Back to the railroad track. Down, up. Wide lunge. Down, up. Those two lunges are not like crazy different, but it feels that way, doesn't it? We're not moving like feet. We're moving inches, but it really does make a difference. So you know you can keep resetting onto the railroad track after your wide lunge, or you can try the balance beam. And I know it's kind of hard to know exactly where your foot lands behind you because you can't see it. If you do have the opportunity to do this in front of a full-length mirror, that would be ideal. I don't even know what my back foot's doing, so hopefully it looks like it's on a balance beam. All right, finish the one you're on. Shift your body weight to the front leg. Back foot lifts and lowers. Up and down. And here, the back wants to take over, right? So we have to focus on our glute. Tell it to do its thing. Standing knee, again, bent. Moving leg, nice and long if you can. One more lift. Then bring your feet together. Oh, inhale. Exhale, hands to thighs. Round your back. That feels wonderful. Arch your back. Round, arch. Let's do that a couple more times. Kind of easing out the tension in the muscles. And next time your back is rounded, work your way up to standing. Oh, good job. Let's roll our shoulders a few times. Again, just working out the tension. All right, you'll want to be widthwise on the mat, so you want it wide. So if you need to turn to face the other wall where you are or whatever, you just definitely want to have some mat underneath your feet here for the next move. Cross back lunges or curtsy lunges. Great for working the entire gluteal complex. And I'll explain more about what that means once we get started. So start by taking your right foot behind your left, and then left foot behind your right. Keeping your chest lifted. So right now I'm not hinging, I'm keeping the chest lifted. So when I talk about the gluteal complex, what that means 3 different parts to your glutes. We all know the gluteus maximus, that big muscle in the back. We also have gluteus medius, which is a smaller muscle, a little bit more to the side, and the gluteus minimus, which is a small muscle, a little bit deeper, that really works in stabilization. And we're going to work all 3 in just this one move. Now, if you want a little more, you can take opposite hand, reach it toward the foot. So it's right hand reaching to left foot, left hand reaching toward right foot. By no means do you need to go all the way down. Just get as low as you need to feel your glutes firing up. Let's do 1 more each side. And then we'll rise up and give a good shake out. All right, set your feet a little wider than hip distance apart. We're heading for a squat and a side lift with the right leg. So squat and lift. We'll stay on that same side. So we already know that squats are great for working the glutes and the legs, the whole lower body. Adding this side lift hits that gluteus medius in particular, and it also tests our balance. So option 1 is staying with this, squatting and lifting. Option 2 is to add a sweep across. So you lift, sweep across, lift, set down, lift, sweep across, lift into your squat. And that sweep across leads as best you can with the heel, with the inside of the foot. And that's going to target the inner thigh a little bit better. I'm going to do 1 more sweep across. Next time the leg comes across, I'm going to bring it to figure 4. So you can either cross at the shin with your toes on the floor, or you can bring your leg across your thigh. Wherever you are, sink your hips back. So we're coming into our standing figure 4. Stretching through the right hip that has worked so hard for us, our right glutes. Can't really enjoy it so much because the other leg is working so hard and we're fighting for balance. But I promise you a more relaxed version of figure 4 at the end. Rise up, uncross, set down, shake it out. We're not doing the cross back lunges again, thank goodness, but we do have to do the squat and lifts. So set your feet a little wide. Squat, and this time it will be the left leg. Nice and slow and controlled. If I was doing this quickly, I'm using momentum and not muscle. And I'm not really testing my balance either. The longer that foot is off the ground, the harder it is to balance. So hopefully you're feeling that side part of your glute fire up. Decide if you want to try the sweep across. It comes after the lift. Again, trying to lead with the heel as best you can. Are you loving this one? Maybe more than some of the things we do today. But it's probably not going to be your favorite. 1 more sweep across. And the next time we work our way to figure 4. So either cross at the shin or at the thigh, and then sink your hips back like a chair is back there waiting for you. I find it helpful to have hands at heart, but if another arm position works better for you, do that one. Keep breathing. Rise up, uncross. I know you want it to be there even longer, but we have to move on eventually. All right, shake it out. We're going to take 3 big breaths and then move on. All right, big breath in. Big breath out. 2 more just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. On this exhale, fold forward. And we will hold here because forward folds are a great way to stretch the glutes as well as the hamstrings and the low back. If you would like to include an upper body stretch while you're here, you can interlace your fingers behind you and lift your arms. Otherwise, arms can grab onto opposite elbows, sink toward the floor, anything you like. All right, while you're here, I'm going to talk you through the options for what's coming next. You will either work your way to down dog, plank, or tabletop. When you get to your position of choice, you also have the option to try lifting up one leg at a time. So make your way right now to either down dog, plank, or tabletop. Once you're in your position of choice, decide if you want to try those alternating leg lifts using which muscle? The glutes, you know it. Again, slow and controlled, both on the lift and on the lower. And boy, are we working our core and upper body here too. Couple more lifts. And then we'll work our way onto our belly. So lower yourself down. When you get there, I'm going to show you two options. Option one is the locust. Your arms will come behind you nice and long. As you inhale, upper and lower body lift. As you exhale, it sets down. So you're using your back muscles to lift your upper body, your glutes to lift your legs. And I love this one. But another option is the frog. Your hands would come in front. Rest your chin on your hands. Big toes connected, knees apart. From here, try to lift your thighs up a little and set back down. And if your legs don't really want to come off the ground, because it's pretty intense, just focus on contracting your glutes and relaxing your glutes. Same great benefit. So either the frog or the locust. Let's do one more, and wherever you are, hold. Extra 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you were in frog, I'm sorry, that was tough. Come back to child's pose or any other rounded back position for a little rest. All right, coming out of child's pose into gate pose. So again, you're going to be long on your mat, so it might be sideways because leg is going to extend. If you don't like being on your knee, just have a seat in crisscross position. Arms out to your sides. Flow one direction and flow the other. So it's another nice side body stretch. Like I said, not everything we do today focuses on the glutes alone. Our body has so many components, muscles, tendons, bones. They all work together to get the job done. All right, one more flow, and then I'm going to show you a couple of options for next move. Option one, staying on your knee, setting down your hand to the mat, top leg lifts and lowers. And here, once again, we're targeting that gluteus medius. You can even bring that leg slightly behind you to fire it up even more. Second option, especially if you don't like to be on your knee, lie on your back, both legs long, top hand in front, and you're going to roll the upper body slightly forward, top leg slightly behind, and lift and lower from here. And I'd like you to try each position and see which one suits you better. Because you might think one works harder than the other, or one's going to be a little more challenge, but you might be surprised. That's why I want to give you options. Everybody's body is different. So hopefully you're feeling it, whichever option you're doing. Last one. And then we'll take a little break. Either have a seat or come up on your knees. Roll your shoulders down and back. Bring your hands behind you and lift your chest, slightly tilting your chin. Getting a nice stretch for the front of the body, opening up. And release. All right, side 2. So again, you can either be up on the knee, this time with the left leg extended, or just seated crisscross. Arms out to your sides. Stretch one way and stretch the other. So a nice, flowing, graceful move. We're also working strength, particularly of our obliques, the muscles that are on the sides of our abdomen. But I like to focus on the stretch because that's the part that feels good. A little bit more flowing, and then we have to get back to work. All right, so option 1 again, stay on the knee, bring your hand to the mat. Top leg lifts and lowers either directly from the side or slightly behind. And boy, do I feel that difference if it's just a few inches behind. Otherwise, lying on your side, top hand forward, upper body slightly forward, but I'm not collapsing. I'm staying strong. Top leg back and lift and lower. Good, so keep doing your lifts. Really giving those glutes a workout today. They will be freeloaders no more, right? One more lift. Awesome. And either have a seat or come back to your knees. Roll your shoulders. Grab your hands or interlace your fingers behind. Lift and stretch through the chest. And release. Have a seat. Legs will be long in front of you. We'll start by bending our right leg, and you can tuck your foot anywhere on the leg that feels comfortable. So just be mindful of how your knee and your hip feel. You can always make adjustments. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Keep it long as you hinge forward. So I'll turn a little more sideways so you can see the difference between a hinge and a rounded back. We're starting with a hinge. Back is long. I even like to flex at the ankle, and you should feel a nice stretch all the way down the back of your extended leg. Now you can hold it here if you want to keep stretching that same part of the body, or now you can make it more passive. Round your back, head can drop down, and you'll feel a little bit more stretch in the back versus the leg. Nice big breaths. Sit nice and tall. Bring your right knee up toward the sky. Decide if you want to keep the foot on the same side for a little less intense stretch, or try crossing it over for a little deeper stretch in your back and maybe even feeling it in your glute. Since it's our right leg crossed over, we are going to twist to the right side. So here we go, little rotation. You can use that knee as leverage to deepen the twist if you like. Gaze is over your right shoulder. Untwist. Leg is crossed. If it's not, go ahead and cross it over. Set your hands behind you. Lift through your chest. Then slide your heel in toward the body, creating a figure 4. Both ankles are flexed, and we are really targeting a stretch in the right hip here. If you don't feel it, try sliding your heel in a little closer or lifting your chest a little higher. And this is that more relaxing version of figure 4 stretch that I promised you earlier. There is nothing like a figure 4 stretch for stretching out the hardworking glute muscles. And to come out of this stretch, just slide the heel back away from you. Then bring the soles of your feet together. Your feet are kind of farther away from the body, so your legs are creating a diamond shape. Keeping your spine long, hinge forward. And this is another stretch that targets the hips and the glutes. So hopefully you're feeling it right here. If you're feeling it in your back, focus on lengthening through your spine, creating that flat looking back. We'll get the back again shortly. So here we're in a very active position. We're maintaining that nice long spine. If you want to focus on a back stretch, it'll be more passive. So now you're going to kind of melt toward the ground. I like to sometimes even bring my hands or my arms underneath the legs if that's an option for you. You can bring them anywhere you like. Head can hang heavy. I'm still dealing with vertigo, so I'm not going to drop my head down. But hopefully you're feeling that wonderful stretch in your back. And sit tall. All right, let's go to the other side. So this time we'll tuck in the left foot. So left knee is bent, right leg is straight, flexing at your ankle. Inhale to lengthen the spine. We keep the spine long as we hinge forward. Now, arms don't have to stay lifted. I forgot to mention that on side one. You can bring them to your thigh. You can bring them to the floor as long as it doesn't cause you to round forward. That's why I kind of like to leave my arms long. It reminds me to keep my spine long. So here again, the focus is on the back of the leg. And then to give the back a little love, we rest. Now the spine can round. Now the head can drop down. Sitting up. Bring your knee to the ceiling and decide again if you want to keep it on the same side or cross it over. This time we'll be rotating to the left. So still sitting tall, all we're doing is twisting the upper body. Untwist. Leg stays crossed or gets crossed. Hands behind. Flex at both ankles and slide your heel in. Figure 4 position. And gaze is upward, but don't think you need to tilt your head way back. We're focusing on stretching the left hip. And again, you can adjust by how you set your heel. Slide your heel away. And we'll stretch the inner thighs. We've done a lot of stretching for the outer thighs, but we want to get every body part. So we're going to bring the soles of our feet back together again. But instead of feet farther away, we're going to tuck them in a little closer. And you can hold on to your feet a multitude of ways. Find which works best for you and just hinge forward. Hopefully feeling those inner thigh muscles because they worked too today. And sit tall. Bring your legs together. Focus to the core next. Back is long. Hands can be here or right out in front. And lean back. Rise up. And we'll do that a few more times. Since we worked our lower body quite thoroughly, we want to get some core work as well. And nothing fancy today with the arms unless you want to go somewhere. You do whatever you like. Sometimes doing arm movements with our V-sit lean backs gets our mind off the work, right? So that's totally fine. I'm going to lean back one more time, but this is in order to get all the way to the floor. So round your back this time. Slow it down even more. Lots of muscular control. And when you're all the way on the ground, hug in your right knee only to your chest. Left leg stays long. Now, you probably are hugging your knee in the way you always do, and that is awesome because it is a gentle stretch for the glute, and that's what we are after. But if you want to try something a little different today, you can take that right knee across toward the left shoulder. So it's just a little bit of a deeper stretch for the glute. If you don't feel it, you don't like it, just hug your knee in the way you usually do. Then we'll take that leg all the way across into a spinal twist, right arm out to a T. Come back to center. Lengthen both legs long, both arms reach overhead, full body stretch. And then we'll switch sides. Hug in your left knee, just like you normally do. Don't even think about it yet. And if this position serves you, I just want you to hold it here. Otherwise, try bringing that leg slightly across toward the right shoulder. And then full spinal twist, bringing the knee all the way across as far as you want to go. Left arm out to a T. Come back to center, then lengthen your legs, lengthen your arms. Last strength exercise. Bring your arms by your sides, bend your knees, sliding your heels in toward your glutes. You cannot do a glute-focused routine without bridge lifts, which is where we're headed. Simple bridge lifts as we get started. And by simple, I mean just not fancy. They're still challenging. Weight is in your heels. Press through your heels to lift your hips up and tap your hips down. So don't settle your hips all the way to the floor because you're going to have to just drive them right back up. So it's just a quick tap and then we lift back up. I can wiggle my toes so I know my weight is in the heels. The closer your heels are towards your glutes, the better it's going to be for activating your glutes. If you want to work hamstrings on any particular day, you can try it with your feet farther away. You'll work your glutes and your hamstrings in both positions, but more of your glutes with heels closer, more of your hamstrings with your heels farther away. Now you can keep going with both feet on the floor, or for an extra challenge, next time you lift, try one foot slightly off the ground, then the other foot slightly off the ground. So notice I'm not lifting my leg all the way toward the ceiling. Just an inch or two is all you need. And make sure you're not really overarching here through your low back. If you're pressing your hips up so high that your back starts to arch, you might be going too high. So just to that point where you can keep your spine neutral. And I think we have done our glutes justice today. Let's do one more big stretch. Lift your legs up toward the sky. You may feel wonderful just in this position, so you can hold it here. But to get a little bit better stretch for your lower body, come to happy baby. Reach up, grab onto your shins, your ankles, or your feet, and then pull your knees down toward the ground. Knees are wide, feet are wide. And once you're in happy baby, be a happy person, right? That might be rocking side to side. Any subtle movements that just make this position feel even better. And this is a great one to end with because it stretches like the entire lower body from your back down to your feet. All right, legs to your mat, lengthen one more time, big reach overhead. Then bring your arms by your side. And as always, I want to give you a moment at the end to move and stretch any way you like as I kind of keep talking a little bit, or you can just tune me out. But I hope you very much enjoyed this glute-themed workout. Freeloaders no more. The more we get to activate our glutes, hopefully the less stress and pressure the low back has to take, our knees and hips have to take. We want the glutes to work to their full potential. So keep working through these exercises. Make sure you give them a good stretch at the end. That's always a great idea. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon.